So I'm going to talk off the cuff, and I'll try and keep it brief on two interrelated subjects. And the first one is universal design for people with developmental disabilities, and the other is true collaboration. So universal design is a concept out of architecture where the overall principle is if you make something that is useful to people who have mobility issues, and you do it in the right way, it can be of benefit to everybody. And the classic example is a curb cut. Curb cuts were originally developed due to the need for wheelchairs to be able to go from the sidewalk down to the street. And they have been used by now everybody with a stroller, Amazon delivery guys, people with luggage, right, with rolling luggage. All these other needs are now being met due to curb cuts. And that same principle of universal design, if you make something that works for somebody who has high support needs, it will also be available to benefit others. That principle has been applied to curriculum design as well. And the shorthand for this is that you make something that is designed for people with developmental disabilities, designed for people with cognitive problems. And what you will find is that those accommodations in time come to be used by others. If you have a class, for example, that is teaching comic books, and this is very close to my heart because my son and I my low IQ son, just went through a community class devoted to creating comic books. And we have been searching for something for literally years that would be at his level. And what we ended up finally doing was something that was not at his level, something that was way over his head. He got only a tiny amount of the benefit of the class. And what I would love is to have a community class by those same experts that is designed for his needs and would also be available to anyone else who wanted a smaller class ratio, who wanted a slower pace. And what makes me furious is the attitude of some people within the state that if something is designed for the needs of people with developmental disability, it is not available to them. It's not available through the self-direction program because there is this interpretation within New York State that if something is designed for people with developmental disabilities, the only valid place for that to occur is if New York State is supervising and directing and really in charge. And in general, people in advocacy and their families, people in need and their families, and people in the state live in two different worlds. Because we live in a world where you ensure quality by giving as much choice and as much control to the individual and their family. And the state, the people who work for the state, the policymakers, seem to live in a world where you ensure quality by having the state supervise and manage and regulate. And my lived experience looking at the outcomes, the two different outcomes, is that if we have control, we generate great cost-effective change and outcomes. And if we depend upon regulation, it's rare to have wonderful, wonderful outcomes. So I'm calling for true collaboration. I'm hoping we can find the space for that to happen. So thank you. I know I probably ran over a little bit, but I appreciate you giving me the space to get this off my chest. And I do hope that we can have conversations about universal design and collaboration beyond this um, meeting here, which is really not, of course, a two-way bi-directional conversation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Jim.